Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Angel Healing House. Lovely to have you along. Let's just wait for a little bit to see who else is going to jump on in the moment. Put your name in there. Give me a wave, a heart, hi, or whatever. It's nice to have you along. Welcome to a rather chilly time here in Los Angeles, California. We only have a top of about 50, 52 degrees here today. And I know there are a lot of people, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, who uh, they are experiencing very cold winter temperatures. and, especially my family who's over east, and I think their top today was about 20 degrees. And they always laugh when I say that I'm cold when it's 50 degrees here. But our blood is very thin. And so, uh, we've just about gotten used to temperatures being in the 60s, 70s, sometimes in the 80s as well. So I do have a little bit of a introduction there today for everyone who is going to be listening. I have a contest, and that contest is, where is my, well, I don't know where it's gone. Oh, there it is. For everyone who's listening, for everyone who jumps on in the chat room, um, if you would like to enter the contest for this free, this to win this guided angel meditation, which is letting go of concerns and living in the now. It's with my narration. It's professionally done with music and beautiful sound effects, and takes you on an angelic journey. So if you'd like to enter that contest, send me an email, please, at angelhealing.com. And in the subject line, just put in Happy 9th Anniversary, Angel Healing House Radio. And then in the email, you can put your phone number down just in case you are chosen. And then I can contact you and get your address to send you, if you are that randomly chosen one winner for this beautiful CD. So, everyone, I've been contacted and spoken with my clients. And a lot of them that I have spoken to, they have been very concerned the way that 2021 has started so far for them. They're not, some of them are not particularly happy, and many of them had such high hopes and such promise for 2021. And now, having experienced a month, this first month of January, in which things didn't seem to get any better. And in some cases, some of my clients said that things have seemed to have gotten worse. And they're wondering, what is it they can do during these trying times on planet Earth? And the Posse of Angels and I have spoken for several months now on Angel Healing House Radio, my blog talk radio show, which, by the way, is every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's on, of course, Blog Talk Radio. We've spoken about that, and we keep assuring everyone that nothing has changed. More is being revealed, and that God has already won. All is in divine order, or we wouldn't be seeing what is playing out. And everything is in perfect order. These revelations have to be shown in order to wake more and more people up. The Posse of Angels and I have said many times that the light of truth and the light of justice is really, really strong on the planet, and it grows increasingly stronger every moment. But, they have said, what do the Posse of Angels suggest that they could do during this time? And there were three Hello, Kathy. Nice to see you. There were three very important points that the Posse of Angels brought up that we can do. A lot of us are feeling helpless at this time. Number one, watch where you are putting your focus and your attention, since keeping our energies high and elevated, bright and joyful are of the greatest importance. You know, well, and some people don't put as much importance on that as I guess they should, because the higher our light quotient, the more light we indirectly and directly share on the planet, since we are all one. Please do keep vigilant that you're not here to change anyone. This is really important. Just like you wouldn't like anyone else to tell you how to walk your journey and judge you how far you've gone, or you're not conscious enough, or you're not spiritually aware enough, just like you wouldn't like somebody to do that to you, it's imperative that we do not do that to others. So keep vigilant that you're not here to change anyone. All we can do is to be an example of how we choose to shine our light onto the world. So, number two, also, if you do find yourself getting irritated, then it's really important, because a lot of us, uh, and this is going back 6, maybe 8 months ago, maybe some people are still doing this, are sharing information all over the place. Now, a lot of this is information, a lot of it is disinformation as well. And it's hard to know what is truth and what is not. Um, then the best thing that you can do is, if you find yourself getting irritated, ask yourself if you're placing your attention on being right instead of choosing to be happy. Okay? If if you find yourself getting agitated, you might have an expectation or attachment to what somebody else needs to believe, or how they need to act, or whether they need to believe the information that you are giving to them. Remember that they are a spirit in human form, and they also have the blessing of free will and free choice. They are allowed to make up their own minds as to what is truth for them. And we need to allow them to walk their journeys. That is really, really so important at this stage. So, so that doesn't mean don't share things with others, but be prepared for not everyone, because not everybody is working off the same page, and not that we all have different levels of consciousness. So, and one is not superior than another. So, really do ask yourself, why am I sending this person this information? You know, do I send it in order for them to be safe? But be prepared for them to come back and say, well, it's all BS. I don't really believe this, and it's conspiracy theory or whatever. So that's number two. Number three, in addition, one thing that we can do now is, do not wait for something to happen or give you a reason or permission to be creative in order for you to joyously and passionately create. It is through the action of creation that we exemplify to the universe that we're alive, and we are wishing. We are wishing to participate. We're wishing to get involved. We're wishing to interact with life. Then, because of the laws of things like cause and effect, like attracting like, then we'll draw more opportunities and connections to ourselves that present to us experiences where we can have more involvement and more joyful participation. So I'll go over those three things again that we may feel as if we've lost our ballast, like we've lost our direction during this first month of January. But those three things that we can do is watch where we're putting our focus. Keeping our energies high and elevated and bright and joyful are of the greatest importance. Keep vigilant that you're not here to change anyone. You're just here to be your own example of how you choose to share and shine your light. Number two is if you are being triggered and irritated, do ask yourself if you're putting attention on being right rather than being happy, and if you have an expectation or an attachment as to what others have to believe in or how they need to act or how they need to process any information that you're sending them. And the third is don't wait to create. And I like that saying, don't wait to create, because the more we create, the more we feel abundant, the more the universe desires what we desire. It's always in the case. And the vibrational frequency of feeling abundant then draws to ourselves more reasons to be abundant through those abundance of opportunities and connections for us to joyfully participate in. So let's go to some of the cards that I chose to reflect, especially reflect the place where we all are as a collective. Now I know some people are further along their path than others. Um, when I tune in, are saying to me that the majority of the collective still feel like they're in a holding pattern. They still feel like they're maybe not stagnant, but they haven't been able to step forward. If you have any questions or if you have anything to add to the discussion about the way that you're feeling at this time, please do put it in the chat. So, to give us more insight into where we are as a collective right now, I went to these beautiful cards, and it's showing back to front. The Wisdom of the Oracles. The Wisdom of the Oracle. This is by Colette Farron Reed, and the card that came out. I have gotten this card over for my personal readings over and over and over again for the past week. And this is the card of the observer. And it's a 49 card, which is a 13, which is a card, which is a 4 number. And fours are the number of security, fours are the number of safety, of having a strong foundation, um, and really feeling secure. And a lot of us are not feeling particularly secure. We thought that we'd be in a much different place at the end of January, this first month gone past in 2021. But the message that came in for this card for all of us to be the observer is that this month of January, when seemingly there was nothing that was seemingly happening of note to manifest in our reality, the importance of January was for us to have was greater than what appeared in our reality, because it allowed the collective a quiet time to integrate and digest all that happened in 2020. We really, really needed this month off in order to hibernate and in order to cocoon ourselves in many ways to be able to uh, really disseminate what happened to us in 2020. It gave us time to restore our shattered nerves, to regain our strength and our equilibrium. And it really increased our energetic frequency to bravely step forward into the new roles that many of us will choose to build those new structures and those new systems and collaborate with others as we build a planet of light together. Now, um, just being the observer is difficult when when all we want to do is get up and go. That's all we want to do. We just want to do, and but the posse of angels are also saying that much has been going on under the surface. If we could only see all that is going on behind the scenes and is being put into place in order for the planet to become that planet of light, and all those things that are being put into place, it would really, it would make us breathe easier and make us have a sigh of relief. But all they want us to do now is to be that observer and to know once again that the light has won. The posse of angels are saying, "Do you know, beloved ones, you have come back from the future on my program, Angel Healing House Radio. We've been speaking a lot about our reconnection to our cosmic origins, to our elevated states of consciousness are now high enough to connect with our benevolent interstellar galactic family of light. And many of us know that we have come back from the future to now help the planet. So, who is that? Regina. Hi, Regina. Nice to see you in the chat. So many of us disclosures that we're seeing now, if the light hadn't won on the planet, many things are going to come out which are going to be very difficult to see. But these are important to come out into the open in order for people to understand how our planet was kidnapped and hijacked and how we were programmed in order for us to finally come into that light, that being light beings on a planet of light. So put your comments, any comments you have, or any questions, or if you have that you want to add to the discussion, put them in the chat, and we will get to them. So, for those that have joined us late, I spoke about how January has been a month in which a lot of people, a lot of people in the collective, a lot of awakened people would have wished something different would have happened by now. But it is all happening in divine order. And we have to make sure that we keep our energies elevated. We have to make sure we keep focusing our energies on what we know to be true, and not giving our power away. And also, that important point is we're not here to change anybody. We're only here to be that example of how we shine our light out into the world. So that's the first card that we have here is the Observer card. So I'm going to put that one here, Mr. Observer. Okay, you just stand up there and observe. So I went to iSpirit cards. These spirit animal cards are lovely. They are another Colette Baron Reed deck of cards. They are beautiful. And the card that came out for us was Hummingbird, Hummingbird Spirit. And the message on it is be here and now. Doesn't that sound like just being the observer? I like to take note of the numbers on the card. And this one is 34. And when you add that together, it becomes a 7. Number 7 is doing the work of the divine. Those born on the 7th, like myself, always feel like we have a mission or a calling to do something of a higher purpose, doing the work of the divine. Well, the posse of angels are saying, just like the Observer card, I can see how God Source Creator, I can see God Source Creator's work or his hand or her hand, is working everything out that is unfolding perfectly before us. We may not be able to see it with our egoic mind that always wants what we want, when we want it, how we want it, and why we want it. But there is a higher purpose for things working out like this. Be here and now, just like the observer, is a reminder that the universe knows the person you wish to be. And it also knows the experiences that you wish that you have. And the universe will provide what you desire. Now, it might come in the way that that your ego wants it to come in, but you will be given exactly what you need. The message is that you do not have to go searching for something better, as all that you require and desire will be before you. Now, this is because all there is the present moment. The past is past, um, and to live in the past means not to have faith in the divine plan. Is to thinking back. Oh, if we could just go back to a certain year, it would be better than what we've been through. But do not go searching for something better, because all that you've been through is preparing you to step forward into those new roles that we will be playing. And all you require and all that you desire will be before. Hello, Maria. I just saw your name pop up there. Lovely to have you in the chat. Just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean it's not going to happen. And that's what's meant by divine timing. So, Spirit will always provide for us, not necessarily what we want, but what our soul needs the most. The posse of angels are reminding me to let you know that before we incarnated on the planet, we all wrote soul contracts. And if you want to find out about soul contracts, in my book, One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, I speak about those wonderful soul contracts, which we love. You, Lynette, nice to see you in the chat. Um, we wrote those soul contracts before we came in. And we write what our soul needs to experience during this human incarnation of ours. And it may not be necessarily what our ego wants or what our expectations and our attachments are to, but it is what is best for our soul. So be here and now, because the importance of this present moment can't be overstated. And everything that you desire will be presented to you in the present moment. So there you go. I love this beautiful, beautiful card of these hummingbirds. I have on my balcony a hummingbird feeder, and I watch them come in and fight for territory. And there's plenty of drink for all, but they're very territorial. Those hummingbirds. So there we go. There's the hummingbird spirit there. The next card that I chose, which has to do with where we are in January. Again, do you feel as if you're being held back? Do you feel as if, maybe you missed something? Maybe you missed a sign on how to step forward or on what to do next? Well, these are all oracle cards which point towards helping us to understand where we are now and where we have been in this first month of January, why things have happened, and how can we keep our vibrational frequency elevated while we're going through these transformative times on the planet. The next oracle deck I went to is this beautiful deck. This is the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle by Kelly Sullivan Walden. And this card came out. And it's time for a quantum leap. It's also a number 7 card. It's preparing us to do what our soul came back to do in this lifetime. The Posse of Angels and I have spoken on my Angel Healing House radio program many, many times how we've already been through, those of us who are awakened, enlightened, conscious, if you want to call it. Yes, it is a beautiful card, Lynette. Um, we've spoken how we've already completed two of our missions. The first mission was to wake ourselves up. And once we woke ourselves up was to get as many people as possible on that train of ascension and help to awaken as many people as we could. That's why many people became healing practitioners, spiritual teachers, intuitive counselors. Many people learned Reiki with me. Um, um, Let me see, tarot card readers, psychic, aware people, all of these things. And then the second part of our mission was to turn the mirror back on ourselves and bring forth um, and create our books, write the books, write the create the radio programs. I created my Angel Healing House radio program 9 years ago in January. And every week we've been bringing forth the messages from the Posse of Angels, um, creating those screenplays, the composing the music, writing those things as a foundation for to bring more light to a very, very dark planet. But now we're taking a time for a quantum leap forward, and we're being prepared for a makeover. It's another 7 doing the work of the design, the divine. Now the Posse of Angels and I, they're showing me a steel going through fire to be forged into a new form. We are being forged to be stronger, to have more courage and bravery than we ever have before. We are preparing for a makeover, and yes, it could be, changing our hair or hair color or the way we dress, but this is not what they're talking about. It's not a cosmetic makeover, but a makeover in what we as individuals will be doing on the planet, as well as the planet is getting ready for a makeover um, into a planet of light. Regina wrote, my first podcast was yesterday, went extremely well and was so much fun. I'm so happy for you, Regina. You are so meant to do this. I'm glad that the first step went beautifully. So the whole planet is getting ready, just like each of us is individually getting ready to have a makeover on the planet. The Posse of Angel wishes for us to feel and sense the new blessings that are already underneath the surface, but they're on the horizon for us. Feel how you are being prepared to level up, to step up into something magnificent. Having gone through your own challenging hero's journey, you have a unique, singular gift of light, and it's now emerging through you. It's infusing that awareness of it here and now. And isn't it funny that on this hummingbird spirit, it says the exact same thing: be here and now. So the observer, being that quiet observer, preparing yourself for that for that makeover. It's coming. It is coming. And all you have to do is just be here and now and put your senses into leveling up, stepping up. And you don't have to know what it looks like, and you don't have to know when it's coming or in what shape or form, but all you need to do is to say, I put my hand up to serve for the greatest good of myself, for the greatest good of my soul, for the greatest good of all concerned on our beloved planet. There are going to be many people who are presented with this new way of stepping up, and they have their free will and they have their free choice whether they will decide to step into it or not. Some will choose not, and that's their free will. It doesn't mean that they're going to be condemned because of it. It doesn't mean that they're going to live any less than a happy life. But the posse of angels and I are assuring you that when you cross over, and I speak about this in my book, One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, which tells us all what happens when we are across the veil. When you meet with the etheric council, this is the wise group of sage ascended masters, angels, that go over your contract and your book of life. And they ask, why didn't you step forward into this role? You will regret it. That's what you will feel, because you wrote into your contract that you would help raise the vibratory level of the planet by stepping into these new thought leader roles. Whether you do or whether you don't, the council are not going to give you a pass or a fail whether you step into these roles or not, but you will feel regret that you did not step into this role. Now, might I say that if you are presented with something, and many of us, having gone through this integration, this hibernation of retreat, to recover during this month of January, as we go into February, um, many of us, around the new moon, around that new moon on February 11th, there are going to be things that are going to be coming in that are showing us to be glimpses of the path that we could be stepping into. Um, Many of us will see the results of having put our hand up, and whether or not we will step forward into these new roles as those new thought leaders on the planet. So wonderful, wonderful cards there. Let's put that one there. Oh, I don't want this all to all fall down like a house of cards. Okay, little hummingbird spirits, stay there. Okay. All right. So having done that, let's go to this beautiful deck of cards. Now, I said that I would review my new deck of cards. Now, if you have somebody in your life that does tarot, and they love it as much as I do, you will never be lost as to what to get them for a present, because I don't know. I just can't get enough tarot decks. I love them, and each has its own vibrational frequency. But this one has wormed its way into my heart. This is the Good Tarot. Again, another Colette Baron Reed. She is so prodigious, and comes up with such beautiful, absolutely beautiful decks. So the first card that came out for us was this one. It's the seven of air, and I love these cards because there's a watery wash about them. You know, it gets us to, yes, those of us who are tarot card readers, we know the traditional, and I guess usual meaning of the cards. But by looking at the cards, yes, it's another seven doing the work of the divine. Yeah, absolutely. We have quite a number of sevens here, and so this is getting us to bypass our egoic mind. What is it that my ego wants? You know, did I want fame during this lifetime? Did I want, a McMansion? Did I want whatever that is? And to go beyond that and to say, I put my hand up. I will, to will, God, source, creator's will. Show me how to serve best. So that's the number sevens. But the reason I like I really do truly love these cards is because there's a watery softness about it, and it helps us to go further into not only the traditional message, but it helps us to go into the higher angel messages, our spirit guides. Um, the one thing that they're showing me here is they're showing me the two doves in the air. Now, I have posted photos on my Facebook pages and on MeWe as well. You can find me on MeWe, on Gab, as well as Facebook. But I have posted pictures of our resident doves and the little egg they left in the nest. And doves are a sign of peace, they're a sign of tranquility, they're a sign of God. Doves are a sign of God. The seven of air, this particular card is telling us to live life on our own terms. And that's what January is preparing us for. Will you compromise who you are and what you know to be true? The courage to live your dreams, not merely conforming to what others say. There's a need for independence here and a need to break away. And that's what January is helping us to do, is to find that courage, preparing us for a makeover so we can maybe live a life that's so far beyond conformity of what our friends, our family, our loved ones would think that we would ever do. But there is no more compromise anymore, not when it comes to stepping up and doing the work of the divine. The next card that came out, it's not surprised when this one came out, was the Emperor. Look at that card. It's a four card. It's another four card. It's a card of our safety, our security, and our strength in who we are builds our foundation, builds a very strong foundation, and then we can build on that. If you conform to what the norm is or what everybody else does, um, uh, and then um, and then it could change just as quickly as the wind changes, and then you don't have a very strong foundation for your life. But because many of us are forging that steel through the hottest fires, through the challenges and the traumas and the grief of 2020, we are now stronger than we ever thought possible. And we are authorities in our fields. We are not only authorities in our field, but we are authority when it comes to our authenticity and presenting ourselves. And many people will start to see that empowerment and that strength and that courage inside of us, and we will be sought out for that. Um, Maybe there will be offers coming in. Maybe you'll be sought out for a business, for a job, to work with an organization or something like that. Um, in that position where you have become an authority in your field because you had the strength and the courage to put yourself out there. And then the third card that came in was the Ace of Fire. This is the new beginning. Wow, I love this message. And then what's that Maria says? Let me see. Just be an original, not a photograph. Absolutely. I love that, Maria. Thank you for that. And yes, I love the message as well. The Ace of Fire is that ace. Yes, it's a new beginning in our careers. It's taking the vision and our ideas and bringing it forth. It's lighting a fire under them so that it can have more of an impact And if each and every one of us would do this in whatever way, shape, and form that we choose to, just think how much fire. Look at the fire in this card. How much fire and light would shine on the planet. Please do not conform. Go after. Live your life on your own terms. Have the courage to live the life of your dreams. Don't conform to others. There's a need for your independence and to break away from whatever you have been compromising and settling for less. So there's that Ace of Fire. They did ask me, I just heard, look under the deck. And under the deck is the Four of Fire, another four. Look at that card. This beautiful angel, this beautiful fairy is playing a flute. The Four of Wands is the Four of Fire, and it's the celebration card. Celebrate who you are. It's the marriage. It's the marriage of heaven on earth. That's where many of us are going. Do not compromise who you are. This is also, there are several celebration, and this one has to do with celebration about hard won successes. And this one is just absolutely gorgeous. How this fairy is playing a flute. The lanterns are up to celebrate with life those successes. And it's just such a beautiful feeling around this deck. It's soft. It just feels absolutely wonderful. I like the cards are a little bit. They seem to be a little bit bigger than normal tarot cards. I mean, if you take the Rider-Waite cards, these are my Radiant Rider-Waite cards. That's the size. That's the usual size. I mean, these are a little bit bigger, and so yeah, they're a little bit hard to shuffle. But you get used to things after a while. And I like the backing of it. It reminds me of an old book that contains some mystical wisdom in it. And I like that the cards have a little bit of sheen to it. So when you do look into the cards, it's soft and it's watery, but that sheen highlights different areas of the card, and maybe you see more of things coming out in the background. So I won't rate cards as to good or bad. No cards are bad. I will tell you how the things that I like about them, and her explanations in the little booklet that goes along with it. They're short and they're succinct, and they're different. They're different in a way that, like for instance, with this Seven of Air card. Now, in traditional Rider-Waite, when people see the Seven of Air card, they go, "Oh, Seven of Air, that's the card of gossip or betrayal or somebody doing you wrong." Uh, but, you know, could be a card of being, wary of those kind of things, but not so in her deck. She says this is a card of independence, of nonconformity, living life on your own terms. So, diplomacy, yet not compromising and settling for less than you so richly deserve. So I love her explanations in the little book. So if you're looking for a good tarot deck to get, there is the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. Beautiful, beautiful deck there. So I'm going to finish off today with my own deck. Now, it's not available for public purchase yet, but these are my tarot cards that I designed them, and a wonderful Polish artist helped me bring my designs to fruition. There's me. There's Angel Ariel on the back. Those beautiful tarot cards. And let's shuffle. Do you have any questions? Just as we're getting to the end of this YouTube Live, I do intend, as long as I have the time to present this every Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have queried a lot of people, and I do have a lot of clients in the Southern Hemisphere, which is in Australia, and this way they can listen at their time. On, you know, if it's Saturday at 5 p.m. here, then it's in the morning on the next day, on Sunday for them. So it seems to be a good time for many to be able to listen in. So if you do, after the YouTube Live is finished, if you do have any questions that you would like answered on the YouTube Live, for the next week, you can always send that to me, to Candy, C-A-N-D-Y, at angelhealinghouse.com. If you're interested in any of my services, my intuitive, wonderful past life clearings, there have been so many who have, during their past life regressions with me, have unearthed sabotaging limitations, vows, oaths, agreements, you know, that they made in the past that were still running in their energetic makeup, stopping them from finding a beautiful love, stop them from finding, financial freedom, stopping them from having wonderful health. If you want to learn Reiki, I teach online, and I also teach in my beautiful office here in Santa Monica, California. You can always go to my website, which is angelhealinghouse.com, and there you'll find my award-winning #1 Amazon International best-selling books, One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and the sequel to it, which is I Am an Angelic Walk-In, the autobiography of Angel Ariel, as I, Angel Ariel, walked into Claire Candy's body on January 11th of 2003, had a walk-in experience, and I write all about that. I would love a card on finances from the Posse of Angels. Okay, thank you, Regina. Let's draw a card for Regina. And if Regina asked this question, the message that came through will be for everyone as well. Okay. Because we are all one, you know. So, a few more shuffles. One thing that the Posse of Angels are saying is all will be well, and that help might not arrive until the 11th hour. But each of us will be given what we need and not necessarily what we want. The money will come in the way that it needs to come in. And the more that we can bless and be grateful for the things that we do have, then the more that gratitude and appreciation, the elevation of our energies, the universe reads as abundant. It gets very hard when the money gets down. I know this. I've been there many times before. And I say to the Posse of Angels, you know, why don't people donate to my services? Why? They'll say, no. Do you have enough to eat? And I say, yes. Do you have a roof over your head? And I say, yes. And they said, you have enough petrol? We call it petrol in Australia. Do you have enough gas to put into your car? Yes. You will have what you need. And I said, okay. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. Another thing that they're saying is that when the money starts to go down and we are driven to our knees, that's often when we find our faith. That's often when we look up and we restores our faith and our trust in the divine. Okay, I let myself go because I know, and I'm just getting shivers all over. I know that I will be taken care of. And it is so, and it is so, and it is so. Let's pull a card for Regina and everyone else when it comes to finances. This is the highest, this is the highest uh, abundance card in the deck, the 10 of Pentacles. They're saying more than that. It's a new beginning. 10 becomes a 1. There's a new beginning around money that's coming in. They're saying what's going to be coming in from, well, we're in a Mercury retrograde now, and Mercury retrograde goes from actually today. It's the 30th, isn't it? Yeah, 30th until February 20th, 21st. The first half of the retrograde, it feels like pushing molasses across a flat surface, like nothing is going on. But during that's the first 10 or 11 days. But the next will be from the 11th to the 20th. Things start to lighten up. Things do start to come in. Mercury retrograde brings back those things from the past that may not have worked out in those connections in order to be presented again. Okay. Remember, if you're going to be signing any contracts, you may want to wait until after February 20th. You know, those that are going to be offered contracts. Now, I know things must be done during a Mercury retrograde. Just be really careful that you get somebody else, like a lawyer or somebody else, to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and really get somebody to look over contracts or things like that. As with that miscommunication, a lot of things could be, looked over. But they're saying that in regard to finances, this is our new soul tribe family who we are going to be collaborating with on projects, on our endeavors, on those things that we've done in the past, like our radio programs, whether they're going to be syndicated or whether our books are going to, be published in a different form, whether, whatever we've created before, karmically, Mercury retrograde brings it back, and our new soul families will see us as those people in positions of authority, like the emperor, like that lion there, and want to collaborate with us. So that will bring in a secure foundation. It's not going to be any like the Posse of Angels and I said on my program, Angel Healing House Blog Talk program on last Thursday. It's not going to be a get rich quick scheme, but it will be steadily building to a secure position that we have longed for. So that's really funny. That's a twofold thing. Yes, the money is going to be coming in, maybe not as fast as you think, but it's going to be setting ourselves up. And that new soul family is going to be coming in. Now, the next card to deal with finances. Thank you so much. Love it. Financially, all is well currently, but I am so grateful for this validation and confirmation. I want to be able to lend, not borrowed. And don't we all, Regina, don't we all want to be in a position where we have so much money that we can then help others? We can then not just give them money, but don't just give a man a fish. Teach him to fish. To help others to be able to help themselves. We all want to be in that position. The next card that's coming out for us is the Moon card. And this is just validating that things will get easier from February 11th onwards. When we're in that second half of that Mercury retrograde, the first 10 days of a Mercury retrograde are a killer. You might as well put a sign on your practice or on your door, "Gone fishing," because things come to a standstill, but it starts to let up a little bit on that second 10 days. And the third card, well, I don't know what more validation than we want. We've got the 10 of cups, and we have the 10 of pentacles, and we have the 10 of cups. The highest emotional fulfillment that there is. And this is the family. This is the family. This is the happy family card. This is the happy family card. I mean, look at those two together. You saw me shuffling those cards. You know, it's we will be taken care of. Um, I've often said that God has a very long memory. We didn't do what we did for the light by helping so many people in order to get gobs of money just to then, spend it on ourselves or do whatever. Although it's nice to spend money on yourself, and to treat yourself to those little luxuries, because after all, we are human. But that's not why we did it. We did it as a calling. But what is going to be coming back for us is putting us in positions where too much who we to those people who are given much will be much responsibility will be given to them as well, to then set up those organizations, those communities, in order to give back to the planet. And that's where so many of us who have felt like we have been on a mission or a calling, that's where we're headed. And they wanted me to look under the deck, and it's the Two of Wands. This is, I mean, look at that card. He has the world in his hand. He has reached the pinnacle of that castle. This is the world is your oyster. And now all you have to say to yourself is, I am going to live the life of my dreams. I am going to have the courage not to conform, and to not and to be independent, to be authentic, to break away, not just break away from conformity, from break away from the shackles of who I thought I was, and to the immense possibilities, and the limitless and boundless ways of living. So I also said in my Angel Healing House radio program on Thursday that it's all time for us to get into contact with that inner child. It's a time of seeing the world as, okay, I'm ready to go on my new adventure. I'm ready to discover more. You know, I really do. I'm a curious child. And it doesn't matter what you've done before. And it doesn't matter how old you are. We can be curious, and we can be adventurous, and we can be open to wonder and enchantment. Um, and and if that's the way that you want to live, because in the higher vibrational frequencies, be careful what you ask for, because you're definitely going to get it. So I hope all that has been helpful for you. Please do, once again, if you would like to get into contact with me, my number at Angel Healing House is 831 277 3716 here in beautiful, dark now Los Angeles, California, and that's Pacific Standard Time. Or you can go on my website, which is angelhealinghouse.com, where these award-winning #1 Amazon International best-selling books are. Also, another book of mine, which I sometimes fail to mention, although it's just as dear to me, is this Angels of Faith book, about how we are divine and we do not die. Um, and also these two books. Thank you, Lynette, for that, for the beautiful angelic messages. These two books are also on Amazon, and they're in Kindle form, as well as they're in audiobook form, because I provide the narration, and we employed professional voiceover actors to do the voices, the other 30 plus characters which are in the book, and it's just such a magical book. Those people who have read the books have said that it is the energy, because I, as Angel Ariel, in the narration of the book, you can feel the love, you can feel the high vibrational frequency coming from these books through my narration. So I hope that's been helpful for absolutely everyone. Please do join me on Thursdays on my Angel Healing House radio program. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's during those radio programs that you can call in for free mini angel readings. I love you all so much. Please see yourself as God Source Creator sees you, as perfect, as divine, as a reflection of that divine eternal nature inside of you, and go forth and fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. Big hugs for everyone. Take care. Bye.